Electroballs. You know the UAPs everyone's seen in New Jersey in the sky? This is what they're saying is the cause of it. This paper just came out. It also has to do with earthquakes, cryptids, spirits, ball lightning, levitation, hallucinations, and so many more things. And they all have to do with plasma. I'm telling y'all, I've been studying plasma for years. It is the future. Plasma is magic. It is way more than we learned about in science. And the general public is finally figuring that out. This is a super interesting article, so you're going to want to stay tuned. You can also look it up yourself. It's 16 pages. Let's just get right into it. No funny business. So, exploring the link between paranormal phenomena and plasma balls. Many strange phenomena like UFOs, poltergeists, or ball lightning can be what they are calling electroballs. We live in a science fiction movie. Or plasma-like forms with electrically charged layers. I'll tell you what that means. Basically, they go on to say they're abstract, which is kind of a summary of what they're proposing. This article explores the relationship between many paranormal phenomena and a proposed type of plasma ball with two electrically charged layers, referred to in this paper as electroballs. It provides a framework to explain these weird phenomena as different manifestations of electroballs, like we're in Pokemon, and the mechanisms behind them. The manifestations of electroballs, they are saying, include unexplained phenomena like ball lightning, strange sounds in the skies, like those sonic booms you see all over YouTube, and Vine back in the day, skyquakes, UFOs, UAPs, haunted houses, poltergeist phenomena, levitation, cattle mutilations, cryptids, angels and demons, demon possessions. It also explains how these electroballs are formed, their characteristics, and their effects on the environment. All you need to know before we dive into this plasma pool of amazing magic is what ball lightning is. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. It's an ionized gas in science. Ball lightning is a type of plasma. It's kind of like a rabid lion of lightning. It has been known since the beginning of time. Some people think it's sentient. Some people think it's trying to kill them. Think of it as an animal. It doesn't want to hurt you. It's just trying to look for its prey. That's kind of what a ball lightning is. It's basically not conscious. It's sentient. It is feeling, but it is not conscious. This is just my opinion, but it is seeming like they're heading it towards the direction of the electroball, possibly being capable to hold consciousness or reflect consciousness, almost like my theories in my other plasma videos of a UAP holding consciousness, almost literally being like a remote viewing spaceship for a future being's consciousness. Okay, enough about me. So first things first, they depict the electroball as a ball in ionized air or plasma surrounded and compressed by another layer of ionized air. You can see it's going outwards in the middle and then going inwards on that. Basically, it's the opposite polarity of the inside. You can call these electroballs orbs or plasma balls. This structure, how one polarity is different than the other, basically forms what they call a spherical capacitor. It just stores the electric charge. In my mind, it would store consciousness, which is held in electricity, meaning maybe they're like holographic projections or something. Okay. They talk about how they're formed. It has to do with a sudden corona discharge. This literally could mean that they're just formed, like what they're saying, off the top of a pole. They call it St. Elmo's fire. And what I would propose is this basically opens up this wormhole to this other reality, or it kind of exposes this fifth dimensional plasma. That's my opinion, not this paper. Which is reflective, where we're either seeing other beings of consciousness, or we're seeing something in our consciousness that's being reflected off the plasma mirror. Trust me, it tracks. So I think my personal opinion is these electroballs, these plasma balls, can be created naturally or maybe in a lab, but they also can be harnessed by consciousness. That's my opinion. This one's really interesting because so many of you have asked me about Van Allen belts when it comes to plasma belts. Research, and this is so interesting actually. Research indicates that Van Allen belts may generate UAPs, often during a full moon. The werewolves come out during a full moon, especially around areas with electromagnetic anomalies. A link has been observed between full moon nights, new moon, and the paranormal. Full moons and new moons increase the number of reported UAPs in paranormal cases. During a full moon, the lunar sphere exerts a strong electrical influence on the night side of the Earth, especially when the moon is nearer to Earth. They think the passage of the moon through the Earth's magnetic tail made of plasma could increase the particle flow through the Van Allen belts and trigger a much larger discharge, which would result in these plasma balls. Also, they say from electrical storms, from thunderstorms, ball lightning literally went into someone's house. This can also happen during a meteor, lightning strike, solar storm, nuclear explosion. These can all trigger these plasma ball discharges. Even train tracks. I think there's a very famous ball lightning thing on train tracks. Oh, these are some more photos of what they're calling Electroballs. Very interesting. That one almost looks like a baby in a womb. That one looks like an eye. I don't know where they got these from, but they are cool. I'm telling you guys, we live in a holographic plasma computer simulation that is spiritual and meaningful and so cool. And reality is just going to get crazier with the stuff I'm going to talk about in the next couple months. I'm going to get to the real interesting stuff now. Before I do, I'm writing an entire book on the psychology of plasma, the metaphysics of plasma, and how you can actually use the plasma information and consciousness to live a better life, to feel more connected to yourself and others, and have more magic. It's not so much about all this stuff, but this will be in there, some stuff. It's more about, hey, if plasma can be harnessed by our consciousness, how can we apply this to our psychology, which I think is super useful. The link will be in my bio. The link's in my bio to sign up. It's called A New Force. Okay, back to scheduled programming. Did you like my commercial? You're like, shut up, I want to hear about this. Okay, another very interesting one is seismic events, and I've made a video about this, and everyone's like, no. So, when there are earthquakes, some people have seen the more UAPs in the sky than normal, or these electroballs. It appears prior to large earthquakes, a strong electric field built up on the ground. The polarity is often pushing what they call an F layer aside, allowing energetic electrons from the higher ionosphere layers, plasma layers of the Earth, to penetrate lower levels. This happens 5 to 10 days before large earthquakes and disappears 1 to 2 days after. I personally think this also has to do with like rainbow clouds, but if you're seeing a lot of UAPs, maybe there's going to be a volcano or earthquake soon. Just a thought. Okay, if transparent orbs are formed outside, they could create cold spots if they enter a building. This is kind of like how people that see spirits catch orbs. We've all seen ghost hunters, but they're trying to explain that. It also says it can produce noises like blows, cryings, roars, hissing, or trumpet sounds. We all have seen those on YouTube. Come on, guys. You love those Jason A videos back in the day. The only thing I'll say about this is I still think it's like opening up a wormhole to some other reality or dimension, and that's why we're hearing those things, but I could be totally wrong. Okay, so one of the biggest things is hallucinations. People can see strange creatures, hear weird voices. They're saying that the intense electromagnetic field of the electroball or plasma ball can create auditory and visual hallucinations and other weird feelings, such as an out-of-body experience. This might explain a lot of alien abductions. Here's what I'll say about that, which is less scientific, more metaphysical, but I know you'll resonate with this. Those of you who have had these experiences know they're not hallucinations. I think that it's still opening up some type of portal or wormhole where you're literally seeing these other realities or these other beings. And sometimes it's almost like your consciousness is working with this plasma to see what you're meant to see, to learn the lesson you're meant to learn, almost like a dream state, which is, yes, a hallucination. But a lot of the time I actually think they're like, maybe some are hallucinations, like other people aren't seeing what you're seeing, but they're meaningful. They're meaningful. Okay, they also say it explains levitation. It has to do with a field called electrostatics. Basically, they're saying that electroballs can raise and attract objects depending on what charge they have, especially if they touch the outer layer. This has happened in classic Bigfoot and Sasquatch phenomena. Interdimensional beings. Once again, that last thing was my opinion. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. Cattle mutilations. They say the blood of animals is attracted towards powerful electroballs, making animals levitate, suffer extreme bleeding and mutilations by the electrostatic pull on blood. They also talk about in ancient times, this was a big problem due to the risk of people and livestock, so they offered blood sacrifices. This is the only one I think is reaching a little bit, because those of you who've been near the UAPs, I don't think you feel your blood being pulled out. But hey, once again, I could be wrong. I'm just glad they're studying this stuff. This is a new frontier of plasma. They're not going to be right about everything. Frick, I'm running out of time. Okay, extreme sleep paralysis. It occurs more at night around 3 a.m. They say that electroball is near your body. You feel like you're suffocating. I think it also might have to do with sudden infant death syndrome. That just scares me. I think it's the same thing where it's opening up a wormhole where you're seeing weird shit because you're half awake. Okay, and then cryptids, ghosts, spirits, angels, and demons. I think they're slightly off the mark here. Once again, I think it's just plasma with an extra density and it's holding consciousness. And when this, plasma looks like a ghost, it's because it's holding the consciousness of that ghost. I don't think it's an electroball. I would say it's the plasma becoming more dense from their consciousness, making you see a ghost or an impression or an imprint in this holographic reality. I'm going to make a part 2. Plasma stuff, link in bio.